X-Men Evolution is the best X-Men cartoon. I said it. I said it. I would watch this series on VHS, then YouTube, and now I could watch it on Disney Plus. Honestly, this is my favorite X-Men series. If you were to say the original was better, I would give it to you honestly. As far as like, because the original has so much story to it, so I'm not gonna strongly argue with that. But this is my favorite X-Men because of just pure enjoyment I get whenever I watch this. X-Men Evolution is a spin on how we usually see the X-Men. Most of the characters you love are now in high school. I love them being teenagers because it was something I've never seen happen to the X-Men. I guess you could say like they were teenagers in like the original X-Men, but I'm not reading that old story. With how this cartoon is, you can tell off the rip that it's 2000s all the way through, early 2000s. From the music to the clothes to how characters talk, especially Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, well, like, what's the point, you know? You guys don't want to talk about it, and I'll, like, totally go crazy sitting around here.
And the inspirations that some episodes took from popular shows at that time, like Buffy the Vampire and The Craft. This is also when Nightcrawler became my favorite character in all of X-Men. Some characters staying adults like Wolverine, Storm, and Beast was a choice I really liked because Wolverine especially, I don't need to see the triangle with him and Jean and Scott happen every single X-Men cartoon. It happened in Wolverine and X-Men, kind of, and it happened in X-Men, especially like even X-Men 97 and the comics. So that was enjoyable to not get that again. The story had a nice straight plot to it each season, but even the episodes where you would just see the characters be teenagers with powers still had me glued to the screen. Like when the girls were just stopping criminals after school by themselves and then they were just dressed in black. And this is also the episode they had a inspired shot from The Craft. The first few episodes of season 1 introduce you to the main group. You get Cyclops and Jean, who weren't that different from how you usually see them. I do like these versions the most, just because you get to see them actually form a relationship, and they're just cool, you know? But Nightcrawler was still lovable to me. He was even more of a goofball than you could say he is any other iteration of the character. The one thing they didn't touch on was his religion, which is a big part of Nightcrawler. And I'm sure they did this, or at least they didn't do it, because they were teenagers and like they just, for the audience that was watching it, they probably thought like teenagers didn't care about that. Kitty Pryde was also a character in this show. I think this might have been my first introduction to her, and she's 2000s girl all the way through. Like anything she says, it's like, you know. And then they have Rogue, who is gothic, and she had this crush on Scott that would have went somewhere. I was told it was actually going to go somewhere, like if the series was to continue, and that's not something I would have liked to see. But this show also creates a new character, Spike, who is the nephew of Storm. And I like the character, kind of. I mean, like, when he is there, because he's barely there, like sometimes. When he is there, I just like to see him, because his power set is cool. Like, him being able to protrude spikes from his body, and then how later in this season, or series, he is, like, mutated even more and it just gets armor plates permanently stuck to his body. But with every new character that was added in season 1, they introduced another mutant to go into the Brotherhood side. And Mystique was just building that whole team. She was going out and recruiting everybody. And that team was like made of Toad, Quicksilver, Avalanche, and Blob. And later in the series, they added Scarlet Witch. Season 3 and 4 were perfect for those who love the 90s cartoon, because that's just where it gets more serious and grittier, I would say. And after the mutants got exposed in episode 1 of season 3, you see the X-Men constantly get mistreated, all except Nightcrawler, who was not outed as a mutant because in that time he was not using his illusion device. So whenever he went to school, he just looked human. And this caused problems with him and Kitty because he was still hiding until Amanda, his girlfriend, ended up getting through to him. And since I've said something about Amanda, that relationships in this show weren't that bad, or at least they never really went full in with each one of them, like with Kitty and Avalanche. And then Scott and Jean, like, it's like they were a thing, but like it wasn't really enough for me. Like Amanda and Kurt were probably like the best thing, and they were gonna end up getting married at the end of the show. I wish I got to see that though. But the show had another original character that actually ended up sticking around, which is Laura Kinney, who most of you know as X-23. Even if everything about this show wasn't perfect, it made one of the most memorable characters that is part of the X-Men mythos till this day. With season 4 introducing Apocalypse, that became the heaviest season because the usual school setting was put into the background, with everyone trying to stop Apocalypse and now figure out what to do now that Xavier was gone. With the season ending, with Professor X talking about how he saw a vision of things going in different directions in the future, got me so hyped for the show.
I know this because I have glimpsed it in the mind of Apocalypse. Many challenges still await us, but I saw some who have been our enemies become friends. And with a heavy heart, I saw the dearest of friends become the most terrible of enemies. I saw my X-Men grow and change. And of course, I saw that some people never change. But one thing was clear, that no matter what awaits us, terrible or wondrous, the X-Men will always be there ready. And of that, I am proud.
And to see it just end like that, like, it wasn't a bad ending, but like just to see it end there. And it's like, I've been here with several shows. It's like, you know, at this point you could just look at what they could have done. But like, as a canceled show, you can't do anything. Like, it is what it is. But that's all I got for this video, really. I just wanted to talk about X-Men Evolution. As you see, I just jumped from different points of the series. This wasn't really a true review, but I just wanted to talk about it. And I might make a video dedicated to a specific episode in the future. I don't know, but for sure my next video is going to be about Young Justice. Believe me, that might be my longest video on my phone. That might be my longest video. But if you stuck this far through, give me a like, comment, share if you want, and subscribe if you really enjoyed it. And that's all. Peace.
you.